What's going on YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, and I'm here to show you another deck profile for the September 2012 list. Another deck I've been testing extensively is Frog Monarch. I really think this is going to be a serious contender for the format, or at least a relatively valid deck now that Insectors are out of the way. OTKs are a little slower, and it's a bit more of a slow format, and decks like this can actually work a little better without having to worry about things like Insectors ruining fields and then OTKing relatively easily with searchable ways to do so. Even wind-ups are quite limited, especially in Europe where they are less likely to go into Shockmaster and declare spells because we don't have Shockmaster. Either way, I feel this deck is a bit more valid. I've been testing it on Dueling Network and it's had a lot of success. I've had more success with this than I have with Dino Rabbit, and I'm quite good with Dino Rabbit, so I'm really liking this deck. Either way, I'm going to go through a deck list. I should say there should be dupe frogs in here, but I couldn't get hold of any dupe frogs, so this is a build without them. But I would prefer to play dupes. Anyway, let's get into the build. Start things off, I play 2 Treeborn. I don't feel that 3 is necessary. Let's check the camera angle. Yeah, it's in the camera. I can't actually see the camera, so I need to make sure you guys are actually seeing it. 2 Treeborn frogs. I feel that 3 is too much, and of course 1 is way too few with people citing crows this format. I'm still having some difficulties with the deck. Sometimes it does just yield absolutely awful hands, but what are you going to do? So 2 Treeborns. To ditch them, we play triple Swap Frog, standard in the deck, and then 1 Ronin Toadin, and that rounds off our Frog engine. Again, I would play dupes, but I don't have any at this point in time. Then to help search out our frogs, I play triple Mother Grizzly, and it also doubles as a floater for tribute summons. So for the very fact that you can set it and people can kill through them and you end up with a swap frog. So it just gives you something to do. Then on to the masses of tribute fodder that give this deck its name. Play triple Light and Darkness Dragon. This is MVP of the deck for me by far. I think this card is absolutely amazing. It ruins so much stuff every format, and this format is no different. It's just, in all of my testing, if I top deck that, I usually win. If I'm in a bad situation and I top deck Light and Darkness, I'll usually win. Insane card. Then we play triple Caius. I'm looking for another Starfoil one because I want this deck to be mostly Battle Pack, because almost all of it's in Battle Pack. Triple Riser. This is probably one of the cards I more immediately side out, depending on what I'm playing against. It's still really good, and it garners a lot more advantage than it used to by sending a card back to the top of the deck. So against certain control builds and things like that, it really does stun them quite well. But against certain fast decks, it really is quite redundant, and it sometimes has to come out, especially against things like Dark World. Then I played double Vanity's Fiend. This, in my opinion, is one of the best single tribute monsters in the entire deck, especially because of the meta right now. You've either got control that make big plays in one turn, which this thing stops, or you've got OTK decks with loads of small monsters, which again, this card stops. This is a 1 card out to many of the big win conditions that are currently doing the rounds. The only reason I don't play 3, I side the 3rd, is because I feel against certain decks it can be a bit cloggy and it can just be dead. So, I mean, going in against Hero Beat, this isn't really the card that I want. So, I'm testing it at 2, I like it at 2, and I've got the 3rd one as the luxury to side in against decks like Wind-Ups, Dino Rabbit, and things like that. So, it really is very good. Against Agents, they absolutely die to it. Same with Dark World and things like that, unless they manage to ditch a Grapple, which I usually try and stop. But, very, very effective card. And then I play double Illusionary Snatch. I actually tribute summon this more than I actually use its effect, believe it or not. It's good, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I feel that sometimes it's very cloggy and I consider taking it down to 1. I'm really not sure how I want to feel on it. I often draw it either before my Monarchs or just without my Monarchs, so a lot of the time it is just an expensive 2/4 beta, but it's in testing. It's a card that I readily side out quite a bit. Then we go on to the 6 hand traps the deck plays. I'll move all this tribute summonable stuff. We play double Veiler because I don't feel that 3 is necessary anymore with Insectors gone, but it's still definitely needed, in my opinion, to stop OTKs and things like that. I play triple Fader because the format has become a lot more kind of either OTK or bust oriented for now, and it's still really good for when you don't draw into your frogs. I was testing 2 earlier on, and I just missed it so much when I didn't draw into frogs, so Fader is still an amazing card that I love playing in 3. Yes, Dolka is a thing, but this is made for my locals and not that many people play Rabbit at locals, so eh. Then I play double Tragodia because Tragodia is insane. I had taken it out at one point, but again, it's another one of those things that you miss when you don't have it. It's a massive source of muscle, and the amount of cool plays you can get off with it by ditching a 7, copying a 7, and then, you know, to steal monsters, and it does so many crazy things, and you can, I mean, my Xyz deck has loads of different levels in it, and Tragodia really helps with that. So Tragodia is a really fun card, and I really enjoy playing it. And then finally we play one Gauze. Onto the spell lineup. It's quite small compared to some Frog Monarch decks, but I feel this is all I needed. I play the 1 Reborn, the 1 Dark Hole, the 1 Storm, the 1 Book. I'm testing a 1-for-1, because this deck is quite heavy on the monster count. 1-for-1 is actually putting in quite a lot of work at getting me to my Treeborn. I was playing Foolish Burial, but 1-for-1 is superior to Foolish Burial in the fact that you can activate this, ditch a dead monster in hand, and I often have a lot of dead, I often draw into multiple Light and Darkness dragons. Ditch the dead monster, and then get yourself an instant tribute target. I mean, you can even 1-for-1 for a Veiler if you have a Treeborn out, so that you can make a Formula Synchron, get a free draw, and you still haven't used your normal summon yet. So it's incredibly valid. Very good card. Then I only play double MST because Chaos Dragon is a thing. Nothing much else to say. There are decks like Frog Monarch, Chaos Dragon, and other things like that that just don't play that many traps. I side into another MST and 2 Twisters. I'm going to be showing you a side deck later on, but I feel that 2 MST in the main is all that's needed, especially in a deck like this that can just keep revolving and revolving and revolving and going. Then I play double Soul Exchange. This was on a recommendation from my friend Uzumaki Kunai, who I will shout out now, and I'll put a shout out in the description below because he loaned me half of this stuff for YCS Sheffield. I feel that 3, I agree with him, can get quite a bit cloggy, and it is a card that you kind of want to hold on to until you have to use it. It's an absolutely amazing card. I think I side the 3rd. Yeah, I side the 3rd, but I don't feel that 3 in the main is needed. And then the best spell card in the deck, Triple Enemy Controller. This card with Treeborn Frog is absolutely broken. It's your free brain control. It does so many things. You can steal your opponent's BLS, double attack with it, and then tribute it off in the in the main phase 2. You can do so many fun things with this card, and it gets you your Treeborn back anyway. So it's costless, absolutely costless when you're using your standby phase. So why wouldn't you play it in 3 in this deck? Then onto the extra deck. It's fairly standard, but some of it, well, quite a lot of my extra deck reflects my side, because you don't use it too much if you're just going into Monarch after Monarch after Monarch. I play 1 Formula Synchron for the Veiler Treeborn play. I play 1 Armory Arm, because you need it when you're going to drop a Veiler or when you're going to steal an opponent's monster. You never know when you could need it, in my opinion. I play 1 5 in the form of Catastor, because Catastor is the best generic level 5. I play 2 level 6 dragons in the form of Orient Dragon and Iron Chain Dragon, because I side into Debris Dragon, because I feel Debris Dragon is very relevant in this deck. For the very fact you can revive a Treeborn, summon Debris Dragon and then get back your second Treeborn, because I usually get to 2 Treeborn in grave if I hit a Swap Frog, so they're both very valid with Debris Dragon. And I play Maxis in the side with the Debris Dragon, so play 1 7 in the form of Black Rose Dragon, 2 8s in the form of Scrap Dragon and Stardust Dragon. Scrap Dragon with Treeborn Frog is loads of fun. And then for Xyzes, I play 1 of each level really, except for 5, because you never make 5 in this deck. But they're more just in case cards. I play 1 Z-Mains, 1 Utopia, 1 Strike Bouncer for the Illusionary Snatch play, 1 Exabeetle for when you can't really go into Strike Bouncer because there's a BLS on the field. 1 Big Eye, because I've felt the need for it quite a lot. I've had a lot of instances where I've had the Illusionary Snatch out, or a Tragodia, and my opponents have had like a Dark Arm Dragon I can nick, so you definitely need the 7. And then I play 1 Gaia Knight for the dead 6s. And then finally, I think that's 14, I play 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, because I side into Cyber Dragons, and I feel that machines are going to be relatively good this format, so you need to play a Chimera Tech now. It's a card that's valid again. Right, I'm just going to quickly go through the side deck, and then we'll be done here. To start off with, I play double Cyber Dragon, because machines are getting better now. Play double Max C, because against certain decks it's very valid, against certain decks it really isn't valid. In this deck there are enough dead draws as it is, so I didn't feel comfortable maining them, but I side them and they will almost always go in, depending on what I'm playing against. Then I play double Snowman Eater for the Dino Rabbit and Hero Beat matchups, just big things, and it's a great Debris Dragon target in this, and also in Frog Monarchs, it's a great water target for you to ditch for your, discard, special summon a Swap Frog, or it's really good for your, I think I said Debris Dragon, it's really good for hanging around with Monarchs, just set it, and on average your opponent won't get over it. Then for one-offs in the side, I play one Vanity's Fiend, as I said before, one Mobius for those more spell trap oriented decks, one Kaiku for Chaos variants and things like that that revolve on the graveyard, one Reaper, depending on what I'm playing against, one Debris Dragon. I didn't feel the need for two, even though there are a lot of targets in here for that. It's just another card which I can drop, which will give the deck a lot more explosive potential. I don't have enough targets for it in the main, so that's why I side it. But when enough targets are sided in, and there's quite a few, I will usually side it in. Because, I mean, of course, you have your Reaper, your Snowman, and your Maxis, and you already have various other targets in main, but I didn't like it. And then to finish things off, we play one Soul Exchange in the side, one more MST, and Double Twister, because you need about 5 ways to remove spell traps when you're going up against Dark Worlds, with all of their Gates of the Dark World and Skill Drain, because those just really ruin your day. Either way, guys, this has been a Frog Monarch deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed. This is a bit something a bit different, because I've never played this deck before, but I'm really enjoying it. On Dueling Network, it tests, as I said before, it tests really well. I would definitely consider it for this format, and if you guys are budget players, this is definitely one of my budget decks of the format. So give this a test on Dueling Network and things like that. I think you'll really enjoy it. Otherwise, this has been Jamie the Kid 00. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you guys again soon with some more content. Expect some duel videos with this soon, because I'm going to be taking it to a locals. And I'll see you when I do. Peace out, guys. Bye.